Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the YouTube world, it is I, Oliver from Rugby League and My Opinion here, and on yesterday's predictions video, which if you haven't watched by the way, please go and check it out, I said it was going to be quiz time today baby, and it is. Basically I'm starting up a new quiz show on the YouTube channel where I'm going to be quizzing fans of NRL clubs and players too on the history of their club. Today though, it's a doozy. I've not just got any regular Broncos fan, I'm bringing on Kristian Freed. That name may ring a bell. I interviewed him on the channel last year. Kristian Freed is a two-time USA World Cup representative in 2013 and 2017 and a former Queensland Cup player for the Sunshine Coast Sea Eagles, now known as the Sunshine Coast Falcons. So it's a good resume. But today, he's a Broncos fan. And I'm testing him on his Broncos knowledge. Basically how this show is going to work is I'm going to ask my guests 10 questions and see what they get out of 10. And then from the next episode onwards, I'm going to have a leaderboard showing you guys where everyone is. I figured I would not do that today because, well, Freddie's first and he's last because he's the first guest. But other than that, let's jump into the quiz.
Freddie,
yeah.
How are you, man?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Yeah, thanks for having me on again. This is a great idea, I think, what you're doing.
Yeah, look, we were talking right before we started recording. Yeah. You're obviously a massive Broncos fan, a huge fan in the 90s, heading into the 2000s. You said you've got some Broncos history books. You've had a quick read today, so you have done a bit of research.
I've done a bit, mate. I've got, I'm not the biggest, like I told you, I've had a few too many concussions. But so my memory lapses here and there. There'd be some things that I'd be amazed I remember. There's probably a lot of these questions that I'm going to just totally brush. So, yeah.
And you've already teed up the Any Given Monday Boys, of course, the podcast that you host. They're also Broncos fans. Shout out to Keenan and Dano. So, you're on the hot seat here. There are going to be people watching this who might light a fire up your ass if you don't do too well.
Well, that's it, mate. I definitely know I'm going to cop it from the original right man, and I'll cop it from Dano because those two, like I was saying before we started this, mate, they're another two. David Middleton's just like you, mate. I don't know if they are. Oh, Righty's probably touching on you, but yeah, Dano's still got something to learn. But
I don't think I could ever come close to Righty. I've always said so. One of our co-hosts on Footy and Frothies, Barney, he lives, breathes rugby league. He will spend 4-hour show that we do writing notes for 4 hours of a Monday after watching the footy and that. And he's a listener as well. And just some of the stuff that he and Righty are able to talk about and notice in games, like because obviously with lockdown and stuff, we haven't been able to go to the pub and catch up. Been watching games together over Zoom and just sitting there and listening to him actually like dissect games as they're going on. It's just freakish. I couldn't imagine doing it with the right man. Like like not in a bad way. Like just the stuff that he'd be able to notice is just amazing. But yeah.
Well, I don't know if, I know you listen to ours a bit, and I don't know if you noticed, but I'll kind of set up a question for Dano, and then me and Keenan will kind of sit back and let him dissect the question.
But you still have your piece that you always say about the Broncos, and that's all that matters today. And you know what? Yeah. You're the first guest on here. We've got a couple teed up for in the coming weeks for different different clubs. But because you're the first, you're going to be top of the leaderboard straight away. I've decided I'm going to do a leaderboard. No one's going to win anything. It's mainly just to keep track, but you're going to be first this week. Then again, you're also going to be last. So anyway, if you're ready...
I'm ready, mate. I'm fucking nervous as shit. More nervous than when I'm running out onto the footy field. So let's get this going. And Broncos, I'm very sorry if I get majority of these wrong.
Alrighty. The first question. The Broncos hold the record for the most consecutive finals appearances in the history of the NRL. How long was their streak and in what year did it come to an end? So to get the full point, you've got to get both parts of the question right. If you only get one right, you get 0.5 of a point. So you've got to be able to name how long the streak was and what year it came to an end.
Okay. All right. So I know Broncos' first final appearance, I believe was 92. I think they went 92-93. 92-93. The streak we got, I'm pretty sure it's 18. So we got an 18-year streak from I'm going to go 92. I could be fucking that up with 93, but I'm going to go from 92, 18-year streak from that, which brings us at 2000. Do you count it 2010 or 2009? So I'll go. Yeah. So bring it to the end of that 2009 season.
You're correct on both counts. 18 years. I've got it down as 2010 being the year the streak was broken. Yeah. But you're correct, as in the final year that they made the finals was 2009 in that streak. So, hey, you're 1 from 1 so far. I mean, you're on an absolute roll.
Let's just call it there, Ollie, and I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty, well, this next one is taking it way back to the very start of the Broncos, 1988.
Okay.
How many games did the Broncos win out of their first 5 in 1988?
All right. So I always known they came into the competition 1988. It's a year after I was born. That's why I'm ancient, mate. I'm pretty sure, and this is gonna be a guess because I don't actually know this answer, but I remember watching something that showed that they had a very shocking start when they first came in. I could be totally off on this, so I'm gonna go with the first 5 games in '88. A win. I don't think they won one in the first 5.
They won all 5. To start out, I did ask how many of their first 5 did they win, but they actually won their first 6 games. The first game being against Manly, and Manly were the defending premiers. So there you go.
Really? Yeah. And then how did they finish? So that season, but how did they fare the rest of the season in that?
They didn't make the top 5 at the time. They missed out.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure where they actually finished on the table, but I know that they actually ended up missing out. So you might have got it mixed up. Maybe it was sort of they went on a run late in the year of woeful results. But anyway, it's okay. Hey,
mate, that was
50%.
Off. Yeah,
50%.
I'll take it at the moment.
All right. So far, we're 1 from 2. That's okay. Now, this one might be a bit of a hard one. Sort of think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
So Brisbane's second biggest crowd at ANZ Stadium. We're talking the old ANZ Stadium here, not Sydney Olympic Park. We're talking the Brisbane ANZ Stadium.
Where we went in '93.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. So Brisbane's second biggest crowd at ANZ Stadium was 54,220 fans. Can you name who they versed in that game?
Mate, it's funny because when they were playing at ANZ, so I know because when they were playing at ANZ, I'm pretty sure it was from 2000, it was from 93 to 2003, and then they went back to Suncorp.
Yeah.
I used to actually catch a train and then a bus with my mates from the end of the line. I'm at the very end of the line, so we used to train it and bus it into ANZ. It was kind of like that shock, like the way that it's shithouse going to Homebush, like ANZ. It's so much better now that it's back at Suncorp. I know, mate. I can't. I'm gonna say I don't know who. I'm gonna say. I know that they had a game against the Sharkies that was massive. That could have been the final for Super League. But I think there was, and I can't say who it was, but I think there was a World Cup challenge there that got the crowd. But I wouldn't be able to tell you who it was against.
Okay. So I can't give you the point, unfortunately. But no, hit the nail on the head. It was a World Club Challenge, 1994. It was against Wigan. So there you go. That's why I said sort of think maybe a bit outside, because I can't obviously say it was a World Club Challenge, but I can't give you the point.
No, you can't, mate. Yeah, but was Sharkies one of the top ones?
Sharkies was the top one. So this was the second biggest one. Because I figured if I asked which was the top one, I mean, that's the biggest game that's been...
Yeah, I remember. Everyone remembers that one. Yeah.
So, I went the second biggest, and it was Wigan in 1994 for a World Club Challenge. That was good, though. That was... Yeah. The boys should not be tearing you a new one for that one. Because hopefully that was good.
Hopefully not, mate.
All right, so we're 1 from 3. That's okay. Still a respectful performance.
I'm going to come back.
Okay. Who is the Broncos' all-time leading point scorer?
Corey Parker.
Correct.
Boom.
I thought I may have been able to get you there, because a lot of people I think would guess Darren Lockyer.
Darren Lockyer is second.
Yeah. Did he once hold the record? Yeah.
But remember, Corey Parker came because of his goal kicking at the end of his career. So you remember how Lockyer, he used to goal kick, but he always used to say he hated it. Like he really? Did it because he did it because he had to. He said he really disliked goal kicking. He didn't like the pressure of it. Yeah, Darren Lockyer saying he doesn't like the pressure of fucking something, you know. Sorry.
No, well, I was just gonna say, I remember his last ever game for Australia in the Four Nations final on the siren. He got to kick the last goal from in front, and he missed it. I think it bounced off the post or something to say that.
I think he kind of misstepped into it or something like that. So I think Corey Parker got his points up from his goal kicking, because you remember at the end of his career, Parker was hitting at a high percentage. He did that. Remember, he did the step back and then that leg lift, that weird leg lift he'd do, and then walk through into it. Yeah. Yeah,
well, there you go. It is Corey Parker. And hey, you're back to 50%, 2 from 4. And that was a quick answer. We're right back into it. The next one, we're going back to the 90s, your golden era of supporting the Broncos.
We say.
I'm hyping that one up a bit. And it is a Broncos legend from the 90s. It's Steve RENOUF. How many times did Steve RENOUF score 4 tries in one game for the Broncos?
Okay, so Steve RENOUF, he's one of my favorite players ever. Obviously, he's one of the reasons that kids got into footy and wanted to play centre. Also, why most kids still, people today wear headgear, even though headgear is ridiculous, it doesn't do anything. With RENOUF, he was the leading try scorer for the Bronx.
Yes, still is.
I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna say, so 4 tries games, he's had 5 of them.
He has.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, he has.
Fuck. I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking 4 for 4. That's like a stat that I always think, but yeah.
It's amazing though, isn't it? Like, to do that 5 times. I don't know any, not current player, but any player who's even retired recently who's done that. Like, no one comes to mind. It could be the most 4 tries in one game record, because I don't know like who else would have done it. That is,
mate. Freakish. I wouldn't know. See, that's something that Dano and Ryder would be able to tell you. And maybe chuck that on to one of their questions. but RENOUF, mate, you get him, like, you know, he hit those over or underlines, and then he used to go through untouched, man.
Watching games back, and there's actually going to be a question about one of the games where he was influential in, or at least I think it was that game. Mm-hmm. But he just his highlights, it was one of the grand finals against the Dragons. He ran the length of the field or something, and it's one of the all-time grand final tries. Like, it was just like he was something else.
Yeah, so he was either 92 or 93.
Yeah, the try I'm talking
Dragons. About. Yeah. It's funny, man. One time, my parents were out having a party at Steve RENOUF used to live. I don't know if he still does, but about 15 minutes down the road, and so that my parents were out there. And I get this phone call because I knew my parents were out for the night. So I chucked a party in my house, and we were 16, 17 or 16, I think. And I threw a party in my house, and I get this call. I don't know the number. And I pick up, and I hear this voice, and he's like, are you throwing a fucking house party? And I was like, who is this? And he's like, oh, it's Steve RENOUF. I'm with your parents right now. They said you would be having a party. And then he goes, oh, keep partying hard, mate. And he goes, I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, so it was all good. I thought you might have been in a bit of strife with him.
No, he was just geeing me up because my parents knew I would have been throwing a bit of an open household hour away. So they got around because they knew and I was a huge fan. Knowing that I was a huge fan, they got him to give me a call.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on to a more recent history, not too recent, but the question is, who was the Broncos' second coach?
Okay. So we had Wayne Bennett from 88 for 20 years to 2008. And then I'm pretty sure it's pretty crazy, but I think the second, and I fucking dislike I think it's Ivan Henjak. It's because I think he came before Griffin.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Henjak.
Yeah, so Henjak was there 09-10. And of course, as we spoke about in the first question, a certain streak came to an end in 2010 under the reign of Ivan Henjak there. So not too memorable a coach in Broncos history. Yeah, I think Bennett's obviously number one. I think after that it's Griffin, and then he'd even just for the whole situation, everything that happened last year, you chuck Seabold in as more memorable, probably the least memorable Broncos coach of all time, and I take it you're fine with it being that way.
Oh, mate, yeah, and I've got I've got mates that were in the situation at the time, and they disliked his coaching style very much so.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll move on now to this question.
Okay, so where am I sitting at the moment?
Hold on, you got Henjak right, so you're 4 from 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 4 from 6. That's really good. One more, and you've at least got half.
All right. Thanks, Ollie.
The Broncos came back to win a game after trailing 22-0 after 18 minutes. Who was this against, and what year? So you got to get both right.
Fuck, mate. 22-0. Yeah, this is a total guess. I've got no idea. Would that be one of their biggest comebacks ever?
It is the biggest.
It is the biggest. Yeah. Ollie, I'll have to skip. I'd say if it wasn't someone like the Tigers. Nah. See, yeah, I wouldn't know then. No. Yeah. When was it? Was it?
It was this year against the Titans.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Fuck.
See, that's a bit of because I thought I'd get you out with that one because you wouldn't really think it happened this year. Yeah, you'd think maybe it was back in the day, but no, it was against the Titans, and it was this year. Funnily enough, also in 2014, the Broncos were up 22-0 against the Sharks, who ended up finishing last that year, and the Sharks would end up coming back to beat the Broncos from that deficit, which is the biggest lead that the Broncos have actually ever let go. Yeah. So if the stories... I was going to say, I think I remember that game for the Titans. It was the week after they also let a lead go as well, and that people noticing that it was they were running out of they were fatiguing hard. I remember Fafita scored very early in that game. I'm pretty sure now. Yeah, and then but I'm going to cop heaps of shit for not getting that one right. No, but I'll tell you what. Well, basically, I think what we need to learn is if it's ever 22-0 in a game and the Broncos are involved, whoever's in the lead is probably going to lose. I think we can take that from there. Alrighty, so where are we at? I need to keep track of these better. So you're at 4 out of 7.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck, if I can get 5, man, I'll be happy with my 50%.
You watch, now it'll get down to the last question. You won't get one, and it'll come down to it. Alrighty. How many times have the Broncos played in a game that has gone to Golden Point?
Okay. So I remember their last Golden Point was, I think they've had 2 or 3 that have gone to Golden Point I remember the last one was New Zealand, Warriors, sorry, and it finished up 18 all, and it didn't go, it obviously doesn't go extra time. It's going to be somewhere around that, I'm going to say 15.
You bang on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, 5 out of 8 so far. 50%. Hey, no one's allowed to say anything now. You've got to that halfway threshold, and you know what? You could end up with 7.
Yeah.
And
okay. All right.
That'd be very good.
I think they also had another dead rubber against Para. Yeah, there was a couple times where but man, you go through the Golden Points fucking games now, it would be fucking hundreds.
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, so the grand final that I was alluding to before, 1993. What was the score in that grand final?
So 93. So that 93 against the Dragons. So it was Dragons 2 years in a row.
Yeah, so 92, 93 Drags. Yeah.
Fuck, man. It's gonna be. I'm thinking it's like 16 to something, but it's 14, maybe 14 to 6, or something like that. Yeah,
14-6.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, because the year before, 28 to 10, Brisbane absolutely. Well, it's not an absolute flogging, but the Bronx well and truly beat them, and I think that was the game where RENOUF scored that try. But in 1993, a lot closer game, but still the Bronx got it done in the end. That was also the game where Tina Turner was there, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
where she did the pre-match.
Simply the best.
Alrighty, the final question. You could end up with 7 out of 10 here, which.
Okay.
But this is a bit of a
Give me a Darren Lockyer question, bro.
Okay. The Broncos played in 2 Toyota/Holden Cup grand finals. Which 2 did they play in? Now, the competition went from 2008 to 2017. So it's within that sort of 10-year time period.
Yeah, okay. So under 20s.
Yep.
So they played in 2 Cup grand finals. Did the Broncos? What 2 did they play in?
Yeah, which 2 did they play in? They lost both. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they lose one against the Warriors?
They did lose one against the Warriors. Yeah, that was the second one that they lost.
Yep. And the first one. Fuck, bro. Is the first one Parramatta?
No, well, it's Canberra, but it's which years did they play in? So it doesn't matter. So they lost to Canberra and the Warriors.
Yeah. Okay, Canberra and the Warriors. And which years did they play in?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it's gonna be. Well, it would have been the first couple years of the comp. Did you tell me when the comp started?
Comp started 2008 and finished up 2017.
Okay,
You're on the right track with the first one.
So I reckon they were in the inaugural.
That's correct.
2008. Yep, and then I think that, and then they made, and then I'd say 2010.
2014.
Fuck. Was 2008 all Benny Hunt and that?
Yeah, and 2008 was the one, I think it went to Golden Point, and the Raiders ended up winning 28-24. So I think, that was like a really close game. Then the one against the Warriors in 2014, 34-32. So, I mean, they were close in both games. But you know what? because you got 2008, I'll give you 6.5. I'll add that onto your final score. So Freedy, it's official.
Yeah.
6.5 out of 10. That's a good score.
Cheers, mate.
And I'll tell you what, the pressure's really going to be on my next guest for this.
Mm-hmm.
North Queensland Cowboys player, Kristian Freed. Because think about it, right? He plays for the club that I'm going to be.
And you're just asking him Cowboys questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm quizzing him about his club. If he can't get higher than you,
yeah,
you've well and truly set the standard here. 6.5 out of 10. You are first on the leaderboard. As I said before, you're also last. How do you think the boys are going to react to that score?
Mate, I think they'll be surprised with some of the But I'm glad that the questions were around some of that era that I was, that we all loved. But yeah, I'd say I would have surprised with a bit. But like I said, like me and Keenan say, we're mad Broncos supporters. We just don't, So I was hoping, I was trying to gauge around that kind of score just to get something reasonable over 50% and just start, set the mark. I think Dano would have got a cup. Like he's a degenerate, mate. He would have watched all those Toyota Cup games and stuff as well. So, and Righty would have been able to tell you who played open 1s and 2s and 3s on the same day at Redcliffe. So. Yeah. So hopefully it's a mark to set and they can crush it. But pressure would be on playing for a club and getting asked the questions at the club, about the club for next week.
I wouldn't be surprised if Righty was mates with the strength and conditioning trainer for the Warriors 2014 Holden Cup side. Just somehow knew him. You know what I mean? Just somehow had some involvement.
Yeah, Righty's like, I was giving him tips on the way they're doing their burpees, and I was just trying to coach him in because he's a level 2 coach, So he was just going to try to do that, and that's how he knew him, and he would have known the exact score and everything that happened there. Yeah,
right. So do you reckon Righty would have genuinely have gotten 10 out of 10 in this one?
He definitely would have got that. I think he would have got the Toyota Cup question.
Yeah.
He would have got the 88 question for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon he would have got Bronco. He would have just remembered he would have hated it. The Broncos came in and got 5 out of 5,
and beat Manly in that first game.
Yeah. So he would have got that question for sure as well. I'm pretty positive the Wigan one.
Yeah,
he would have scored as well. I reckon Righty might have got a 9.5. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I'm going to grab him on soon, and he's a Manly supporter, so I'm going to be asking Manly questions. They came into the comp in 1947. I think at least half the questions are going to be pre-1960, just to see, and he'll probably get a few of them right.
Yeah, just be like, Righty, in 1957, who's Oh, man. Yeah, but he'll know, bro. He'll fucking know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, thank you so much for jumping on the inaugural episode today. I've been thinking of what I could get you on to do for a while now as well. I've been thinking I want to get Freedy back on, so it's good. And it coincides well with this concept. And Kristian Freed, if you're watching, I think I might send this to him so he sort of knows what he's getting into. But that's the score you got to beat. 6.5.
That's what you got to beat, Griffin, and this is what you got to listen to as well, as long as with Ollie's stuff. Ollie, what was I going to say is we want to, if we set up this Riverside in the next couple of weeks, we want to get you to come to get in on our podcast as well. Yeah. So that's why we're thinking, as soon as, because of all you guys in lockdown and stuff as well, that to get more guests on it. So the first, if we hook up this Riverside, we'll get you on first, and you just chill with us for the whole freaking pod, man. If you've got a Sunday night free, for sure.
I've got a Sunday night free, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So anytime, man. And I want to say once again, thank you so much for jumping on. I think you should very much be proud of your efforts here today. And
I am, mate. I am.
Yeah. But to all you out there watching, let us know what score you got, and be honest. Be honest. Don't after the fact say, "Oh yeah, I would have got 10 out of 10." Rah rah rah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've kept track and have been trying to guess these along the way too.
But I liked it, mate. There was some obscure questions for sure that totally threw me off. Man,
Yeah, well,
I'm just spewing about that 88 one, man. I feel like a kid.
Well, that was probably the worst one, to be fair, because you said the exact opposite to what happened.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know what? Even the ones you got wrong, we'll finish up in a minute, guys. Don't worry. But even the questions you got wrong, I don't think. I guess maybe other than the Titans coming back to beat them this year, but you didn't know. But for the rest of them, even the ones you got wrong, as I said, I think they were at least good guesses, as in you didn't seem like a crazy person or like you knew nothing.
Just throwing lines out there. Yeah. Well, mate, I'll keep reading my book on my pool table back there and freshen up again. Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to get you on one time and interview you about quiz you on Mitchie history. I'll have to do some reading up myself, but hey, we'll see. But anyway, Freedy, thank you so much for jumping on today. I hope the boys don't give you too much stick. They really shouldn't anyway. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. As I said, coming up next time, it's Cowboys player Griffin Neame on the history of the Cowboys.